The very best of fantasy and science fiction ask relevant questions. They ask questions about where we are in the world today, the state of things, the state of people, the state of humankind. By taking certain ideas or truths about our world and extrapolating them into something mesmerizing, fantastical, unbelievable, but at its core plausible, and sometimes might even reflect where we actually are right now. One of those questions might be, what happens when those in power or the top 1% hoard and gorge themselves on all of the resources that humankind needs to survive? And what happens to the small folk? And what happens when manipulation is at the heart of that, and suppression of information? These are the questions that I think Adrian Tchaikovsky poses in Ogres, which is one of the best science fiction novellas I think I've ever read. Welcome back to StoryTube. Hello there, what's the story? So, I got done reading Adrian Tchaikovsky's Ogres recently, and just want to make a quick little video talking about it, urging people to read it. I think this is a very, very cool book. This blurs the genre lines between sci-fi and fantasy. And honestly, I think you should go into this book knowing the least amount of information possible, but I just want to give you a flavor of it and urge you to pick it up. Because I feel like this book, like many of the great works of science fiction, asks some very relevant questions to where we are in the world today. But also, it's a riveting good read, it's a fun time, and it's also really trying something. He's going for something in this book, and I've noticed this in the other Tchaikovsky books that I've read, that he might just pick certain rules or notions or conventions about writing and twist them and play with them for effect, or to maybe not just get his point across, but open some questions, start you thinking, what did that mean? What exactly is he trying to say with this? Is he trying to say something, or is he just asking the question? And I think Ogres is a phenomenal work of science fiction and fantasy in that regard, and he blends those genre lines, which is one of my favorite things, honestly, as a fan of both genres and multiple genres in general. So if you don't know, what is the basic premise? Well, ogres are big, scary creatures that control things and perhaps subjugate humans in a world that feels like it's on the brink of a revolution. Let's just leave it at that. That's the only information I'm going to give you about this book, because I think you need to go read it. This entire book, 99% of it, is told in second person present tense, which gives an immediate immersion into it. I feel like once you start reading, once you settle into the second person, after about 2-3 pages, you're not going to be able to stop. And that is honestly my favorite thing in books, in reading, is just a writer that can absolutely sweep me away. My analytical brain gets switched off. I'm not really thinking about the writing until after I finish the book. That is my favorite thing. Adrian Tchaikovsky has now done this with each book that I've read by him. And the coolest thing about Ogres is that he does all of this in like 150 pages. I think if you like books about uprisings, about the small folk challenging the oppressors or the people at the top, if you like books that have sort of twists and turns and an unpredictability to the plot, but the plot is relentlessly riveting, if you like science fiction or fantasy, if you're interested in politics at all, if you're interested in fantasy's commentary on themes like racism, slavery, oppression, economics, human evolution, what that looks like, how that might play out in the future. My only suggestion is that you read this book. I really can't say much more, because I just think it's one of those books that you just need to pick up and start reading. And you shouldn't know too much about it before going into it. Coloring your perception of what might happen or what might come will just ruin this experience for you. It is quite unpredictable. There are a couple of things that I predicted, or just a couple of elements that became clear to me very early on, but I don't think he was trying to obscure everything. It's a very mysterious book, and it's very compelling. But there are things about the themes here that you just need to have unfolded for you as you read them, and not me sitting here telling you everything that it's about and everything that it's trying to say. The only thing I will say, maybe to wrap this video up now, after urging you to read it strongly, is tax the ogres. That's it. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below if you've read Ogres. Comment down below if you think we should tax the ogres. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.